It was one of those evenings when the air felt heavy, even though nothing seemed out of place. I had just finished cleaning the kitchen after dinner, the sound of the dishwasher humming softly in the background. My husband, James, was in the living room watching the evening news, and my younger daughter, Sarah, was upstairs on a video call with her friends. But my son, Michael, who is usually cheerful, had been unusually quiet all day. At 16, Michael wasn't the kind of boy who kept everything bottled up. He was friendly, funny, and always full of stories about his basketball practices, his friends at school, or the movies he wanted us to watch together. But for weeks, I had noticed the change. His smile wasn't as bright, his laughter didn't come as easily, and sometimes when he thought no one was watching, I caught him staring off into space, lost in thought. That evening, as I wiped down the counter, I heard footsteps on the stairs. Michael came down slowly, his hands shoved deep into his hoodie pockets, his face pale. He hesitated at the bottom of the steps, as though debating whether to turn back. "Mom?" His voice was quiet, almost fragile. "Yes, sweetheart," I said, trying to sound calm, though my heart was already pounding with worry. Can we talk? Just us." "Of course," I replied without hesitation. I glanced toward the living room, where James was still absorbed in the TV, and then back at Michael. "Let's go upstairs." We went to his room, and as soon as we stepped inside, he closed the door gently behind us. That action alone told me this wasn't just a casual chat. He sat on the edge of his bed, his hands fidgeting nervously, and for a moment, I simply waited, giving him space to find the words. Finally, he whispered, "Mom, I can't keep this inside anymore." I sat beside him, reaching for his hand. "You don't have to. Whatever it is, you can tell me. I'm here." Tears welled in his eyes. "I feel like I'm failing at everything. At school, at basketball, at just being me. Everyone expects me to be strong and happy all the time, but I'm not. I feel like I'm drowning, and I don't know how to make it stop." My heart broke hearing those words. My son, the boy who always tried to be the life of the party, was carrying a burden so heavy he thought he was alone in it. "Oh, Michael," I whispered, pulling him into my arms. He didn't resist. He leaned against me, shaking as though the weight of his secret had finally become too much. "I don't want you and Dad to think I'm weak," he continued. "I know you've worked so hard to give us everything, and I don't want to disappoint you. But sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed in the morning." I stroked his hair gently, tears streaming down my own face. "You could never disappoint me. Never. You are not weak for feeling this way. You're human. We all struggle, we all hurt, and sometimes we all need help." He pulled back, his eyes searching mine. "Really? Even you?" I nodded. "Especially me. There have been times when I felt overwhelmed, times when I thought I couldn't handle one more thing. But I learned something important, Michael. Carrying everything alone doesn't make us strong. It just makes us tired. Sharing our burdens makes us stronger." For the next hour, he poured everything out. The pressure he felt to keep up his grades, the fear of letting his basketball coach down, the loneliness of watching his friends seem happy while he felt stuck in a fog. He admitted that he had been hiding his feelings because he didn't want to be a burden. As I listened, I realized how easily we can overlook the silent battles our children fight. He was still just a boy, caught between childhood and adulthood, trying to navigate emotions too big for him to handle alone. When he finished, I held his hands tightly. "Michael, thank you for trusting me with this. I know it wasn't easy, but I promise you, we're in this together. You don't ever have to face this alone again." We made a plan that night. We talked about speaking with his school counselor, finding healthier ways to manage stress, and making sure he had space to rest and recharge. I told him that asking for help didn't make him weak. It made him wise. Later that night, when James came upstairs, I quietly told him everything. His eyes filled with tears, and without saying a word, he went into Michael's room. I followed a few minutes later and saw them hugging, James's large frame wrapped around our son, as if trying to shield him from the world. The days that followed weren't perfect, but they were better. Michael started opening up more little by little. We had more family dinners where we talked honestly, not just about good grades or basketball scores, but about how we were really feeling. Sarah, though younger, also joined in, reminding Michael that he wasn't alone in this family. One evening, a few weeks later, Michael came into the kitchen while I was making dinner. He gave me a shy smile and said, "Thanks, Mom, for listening, for not making me feel like I was broken." I hugged him tightly. "You're not broken, sweetheart. You're brave. And you're loved more than you'll ever know."